In its main groupings, President Roosevelt and the New Deal Democrats, independent progressive Republicans. You see, it's both left and right, progressives. And in the end, remember who put this out? Vote communist. The last words, elect progressive candidates for every office. Vote communist. See, what happened was FDR was reaching out to the fringes of the progressive movement, if you will, on the left, which were communists. He used them for fuel, just as the Democrats now use Michael Moore. Do you remember when Michael Moore, he put Fahrenheit 9/11? The guy's a Marxist. I remember being on the air, what, 6, 7 years ago, seeing him in the box, the presidential box with Jimmy Carter, and I said, Democrats, what are you doing? The guy's a Marxist. You think you're using him for fuel to bash George W. Bush, but these people are going to turn around and eat you. And that's what's happening, America. FDR used them for the same reason, because these people are motivated to go out and attack the other side, use anything, tear the opposition apart. And by the way, let's try this new little idea called communism. Meanwhile, those who were opposed to FDR, the Republicans, the progressive Republicans, reached out to the enemy of the communists and the enemy of FDR, the Nazis. And they used the Nazis as fuel. This was seared into our grandparents' head, but it was unspoken to us as children and grandchildren. Republicans are Nazis. Democrats are communists. It's because they missed the one word. They missed the telltale signs. Social justice, economic justice. Let me go back to the Nazi rally. I want to show you this again. Can you bring up the screen one more time? Here's the rally. Got to show you a flag. Nancy Pelosi would say this, you know, this is a tea party here, all the Nazis. But there's a banner. Do we have the banner? We're going to need a close-up of it. Do we have that? Hang on, it's coming. Here it is. Stop. Okay, well, this is Father Coughlin. This is the guy that the left says I am. That I'm just a guy who's just out there going for the Nazis. He went for the Nazis. He did. Nazi. Spookiest dude you've ever seen. We don't have the banner. On the documentary, we'll show you the banner. There is a banner on the podium. And this is, I guess, a mock-up of it. Social justice. Social justice. You wouldn't have this at the Tea Party. The Tea Parties are for small, limited government. The movement of the Democratic opposition in FDR's day was carrying a sign, social justice. These were progressives. Social justice. This was social justice. If you look at the chart, when the fascist movement was discredited by Hitler and Mussolini, most of our grandparents got away from it, and they came back down around here. When Stalin was exposed for the monster that he was, we started saying, oh boy, that's bad, and our grandparents got away. But some didn't. Some didn't. They went back and they put a mask on. They went back undercover, working for their socialist utopia because, okay, well, these guys screwed it up, but this system works. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And they outwardly reject the revolutionary words. They just work for social justice, economic justice, the rights of the worker. Just a little bit of progress. See, our founders put us here for a reason, with a very small government. It's dangerous when either side, when Bush says, hey, Patriot Act, let's keep going. You know, I was for it. I was for it because I was dumb enough to believe in some sunsets. Do you know what these guys who were against the Patriot Act, do you know what these guys have just done? They've removed the sunsets. That's why these guys are freaking out. It doesn't matter which side gets us here. When the right or the left move this close to total government, it's not a good thing. We must go back here. before progress, before the progressives. Put us back to the place where that silent George Washington approved, back to limited government and away from all this nonsense and nightmares.
Web of
I want to show you a little clip of President Obama. He made an announcement yesterday, and I want you to watch this.
Government has a responsibility. Government can help educate students to succeed in college and a career. Government can help provide the resources to engage dropouts and those at risk of dropping out. And when necessary, government has to be critically involved in turning around lowest performing schools.
The president is bringing up schools this week for a very important reason. There's something going on in this country, I think it's on Thursday, that most people haven't heard of. We're going to spend an hour on it. In fact, I'm wearing this button for a reason this week. Youth for Roosevelt. Indoctrination of our kids. He's talking about how to improve educational needs for our kids, but I don't think our kids need any more government intervention in their schools. This Friday, a special hour you don't want to miss. The indoctrination of youth in America. Things you've never seen before. An hour you don't want to miss. Tell your friends. Make sure you grab one extra person and have them watch the show this Friday. Open their mind to a world they've never seen. And set your DVR now. Back in a minute. I'm going to give you a little taste of something we're giving you tomorrow. Communism has been such a spectacular failure in history. Most Americans are overwhelmingly against the idea of communism or Marxism or a global government of distribution, redistribution of wealth, bloated unions. Do you know that the unions have lost 800,000 members last year alone? And yet unions and union leaders are involved at every level in writing and crafting the bills that now govern our land. The AFL-CIO, for example, is now pushing a Wall Street transaction tax that would tax each and every transaction on Wall Street. Good, right? Give it to the workers. The union claims that this tax is going to help create jobs. I've never heard of that one. That's new to me. Higher taxes, creating jobs. It doesn't work. So what's the real intent? Well, Andrew Breitbart from Breitbart.com brought this video to my attention, and I got to show it to you. We'll show it all tomorrow, but this is SEIU's president, Andy Stern, on the real motives of the unions.
We are at a historic crossroads. We are at the historic crossroad, I think, economically in my lifetime, in terms of what a new president is trying to do and a different way we're going to try to evaluate the economy. So all of a sudden, we are witnessing the first new American economic plan led by the government, not necessarily led by the private sector.
Is that the economic plan you want? Is the free market, is the private system dead and it needs to be run by the government? Are companies evil? And their answer to evilness is global regulation and global government, because that's what he goes on to say. Global government. Do you really think it'll be better for global government? Doesn't matter, because unions think it is. And they're already putting into place those regulations. We'll show it to you tomorrow. Oh, and darn it, they just put the financial global regulations. They forgot about the global government, but they're working on the global government. Do we have it? No, we're out of, gosh, we're out of time already. I'm sorry. Back in a second. I've got chalk all over me. I want to invite you to go over to glennbeck.com tonight. You're going to find our new Insider Extreme. It features broadcast quality live streaming of my radio show and an expanded fourth hour of broadcast with Pat and Stu. Behind the scenes look at how we put our shows together. Exclusive documentaries, mini documentaries with online access also to my magazine, archive of the radio program, and VIP access to watch live events happen. Insider subscriptions start for Extreme March 9th. Go to glennbeck.com/extreme for more details. From New York, good night, America.